Hey students, welcome to Learn Digital, and we are going to discuss one of the important concepts in object-oriented programming, and that is inheritance. So what is inheritance? Inheritance is a concept in which we create new classes from existing classes. It means we inherit some of the features of existing classes and we inherit them in the new classes and we create the new class. So this concept is very important in case of reusability in object-oriented programming. Let us see with an example. This is a class A and this is the data member and member function part. So we have a data called A and B, and the name of the class, suppose it is A, and some function 1 and function 2, two functions are there in this class. So when we create another class called B, in this case we take some features in from the class A, from this is class B. So this data member actually inherited from class A and the functions f1 and f2, and the C class is having its own data member. Suppose this is C, and as a member function, suppose f3. So this is its own, and these A and B and f1 and f2 are actually inherited from class A. Inherited from class A. So this concept is called inheritance, where the new class is created with the help of existing classes, and in the new class separately we gave new data members and member functions, and few of the data members and member functions actually came from class A. So what we can do actually, now in this case we inherited the entire class A, means A, B and F1 and F2, but partially you can inherit. Suppose you want to inherit A and F1, you don't want to inherit B and F2, so that can be done. So this is the fundamental concept of inheritance. So let us go further and we see what are the different types of inheritance, and how do you do the programming of inheritance, we'll see later. So for the time being, what we are actually doing, we are understanding all the concepts related to object-oriented programming, and how can we understand with basic concepts of class and objects. So this is a class A and this is another class B. So if we create a class B from A, that means only one class is there from which the inheritance is being done. That means we are taking help from A only, one class only. In this case is called base class, and this is called derived class. In inheritance, the fundamental concept is the classes which are actually responsible for creating the new class, they are called base class, and the classes which are actually newly created, these are called derived class. So in this case, if there is only one base class and only one derived class, means 1 to 1, in this case we call it single inheritance. Single inheritance. So if the situation is like that, you need to create a class C and you need to inherit from class A and class B, means there are more than one class which are base class and only one derived class. This is one, this is another. You may have another class, suppose D, so in this case another. So it is called many to one. Many to one. So in this case it is called many to one, and this concept is called multiple inheritance. This is called multiple inheritance. This is called multiple inheritance, and the structure is like that. You will be having multiple base classes and only one derived class. So this is class A, B, C, and you are supposed creating another class D. So, and you may have many other classes. So more than one. This is more than one base class. This is the fundamental concept of multiple inheritance and one derived class. So now let us go further and see what are the other types of inheritance. This is another concept where you have one base class, suppose A, and this is the base class, and you can create multiple derived class from this base class. Suppose B, C, and D. These are the classes which are actually created from class A, and you are inheriting features here, here, and here. So this is called hierarchical inheritance. This is called hierarchical inheritance. This is called hierarchical inheritance when you have multiple derived class from one base class. So let us go further. If the inheritance, the structure of inheritance is like that you have a class A and you have created another class called B from A as single inheritance. So if you extend that and you create another class, suppose class C, so in this you are actually creating multiple levels, and you can go further also. So in this case A is the base class for B and B is the base class for C, and like that. So this is called multi-level inheritance. Multi-level inheritance. This is actually multi-level inheritance, and let us go further. We will see with real life examples what different types of inheritance, and this is another type of inheritance when you mix two types of inheritance together and you create hybrid inheritance. And suppose you are having a class A and you created class B, and you have created another class called C, and you are creating another class which is D. Actually this D is actually from B and C. Here up to this it is you can understand this is hierarchical inheritance, and from this to this it is actually multiple inheritance. So here two inheritance types are actually mixed with each other, and we create hybrid inheritance. So this is the requirement of the problem, and when you are going to solve any problem with object-oriented programming, and you need to apply inheritance there. So in that case you will select what type of inheritance you are going to use. So this inheritance sometimes called multipath inheritance. So these two types of inheritance are mixed together, and that's why we call it hybrid, and sometimes it is called multipath inheritance. So this way we can have different types of inheritance, and we can apply that to solve our problem. So from the single inheritance we can give examples. Suppose you have one phone, and phone having features, and this phone name is phone A, and you want to create a new phone. So this is a phone N. So this is one class, and this is another class in the factory. So factory, any phone company, suppose ABC company actually created phone A, and this phone is having these features, feature number 1, 2, 3, like that. So these features are actually borrowed in the or copied in the next phone which they are creating, actually phone N. The name of the phone N, the phone is N. So in this case suppose these features are actually copied and new features are added in this, some new features, suppose 5, 6. These are the new features in class in this class phone N. So this we can say one real life example of inheritance, and this is single inheritance. So we can have multiple examples like that. You just think of that how actually inheritance is present in our real life, in our day-to-day life, in our industry, in our society. Everywhere you will find this inheritance, and it is this phenomena is actually taken from the real life. That whole object-oriented programming concept is actually inspired from real world. You have to understand. So as much as you understand the real world, you will understand this object-oriented programming, because the concept of object and class is actually inherited or that taken from real world. So because in the first class I discussed that why object-oriented programming is there, because in the real world we face problem and we want to solve all this problem in the computer. We want to solve all these things in the computer. So computer, to represent the problem in the computer, we represented the real object in the computer. So we took the help of object-oriented programming model, which actually directly maps this real world object in the computer. So further, multiple inheritance example we can take. Suppose there are two phone A and phone B, two phone having many features, and you are creating a new phone which will inherit features from both the phone, or if there are other phones, phone C. So you are creating phone C. So you are creating a phone and new phone. So in this case you are actually inheriting features from phone A, phone B and phone C, and you are putting some new features and the whole new features you are putting. So this is the whole new feature and these are the inherited features. So you can create a new phone. Suppose this is the iPhone, one version of iPhone, another version of iPhone, another version of iPhone, and you are creating the new iPhone, or the Apple company is creating the new iPhone. In this case, this is called multiple inheritance, when the base class, number of base class means from many classes you are actually inheriting features. It is called multiple inheritance. So likewise you can go on and you can see there are many examples which are actually relating to one of the types of inheritance in our discussion. So hierarchical, you can see this is a cycle, suppose bicycle, and this is a bicycle, and this bicycle is actually inherited in many other bicycles. Suppose the wheel of the bicycle, actually these wheels are actually same in all these bicycles. So these wheels actually inherited, we can say, and this is a hierarchical inheritance. So this is a concept of inheritance, and there are many other examples we can talk about. So suppose this is a car A. So a car is having some features. So these features are actually copied in three different cars of car B and car C, and this is car D. Suppose this one, the engine is copied, engine is same for this, and other features are actually they have their own features. This class is their own features, this is having its own features, this is having its own features. So this is another hierarchical inheritance. So this way you can have example for multi-level. Suppose this is one phone, and this is another phone, and this is another phone, this is another phone. So one is this one is for this one is the base for this, and this one is for the base for this class. So this way it will have my multi-level. So we understood the inheritance. What is the advantage of inheritance? Is actually if you have a class in your program, you have a class A. So this class can be used to create another class, means this is the class we are reusing. Reuse, the reusability in this object-oriented programming is done through by this inheritance. And further when we will do the program, we will see. So in this video we discussed the different types of inheritance and the advantage of inheritance, and you can go through the book Object-Oriented Programming with Tala Gurusamy. You will find these things are actually discussed in that book also. So you just prepare this topic if you are a student of any engineering college and you have to go for exam. So with this understanding you can actually go through book, you can understand anything, because the things which are there in the book already discussed in this video. So I will request all of you that if you have any query and any kind of feedback on this video, so you can comment below and let me know, and if I will definitely solve your query, whatever. Stay tuned at Learn Digital, subscribe and press the bell icon just to get the notification for the new videos. Thank you.